Xrco, is this your first show actually hosting?
This is my first time hosting Xrco awards, yes, but I have hosted award nomination parties, and I also hosted the XBiz Executive Awards in this year, 2021. It's 2021, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's my first time hosting Xrco, yes. But I've been to so many of them for so many years, so this is really exciting to be on the other side of the stage.
Uh, any added pressure, anything because you've been to shows before? You kind of know what the routine of the evening is and how it goes.
I feel no pressure at all. Well, that's a lie. I don't know what to wear.
Right.
So I'm having a little bit of a moment where I'm like, I've already picked the shoes that I'm gonna wear and I've already picked the purse. So now I just have to pick the dress.
And award season just beginning. At this point in your career, do you still get as excited as you did in the first time you got an award and all that stuff, or is it kind of
No, I get it. I get so excited every time because every year is based off of merit of new projects. So it's always brand new and very exciting every award season because now I'm proud about something new and I really want this new project to get recognized and I work really hard on memorizing my scripts and finding the right wardrobe and just being professional and friendly and positive on set and also being a good performer, that it's so important to me that one, the fans love it, and two, the critics love it.
oh, I'm good for something today. But you've had a good long career and you seem more popular now than you were before. All joking aside, do you attribute that to anything specific?
Absolutely. Well, every year my fan base grows bigger and bigger, so that's an important element. But I've also learned so much along the way to make me a better performer and a better businesswoman. And, so if I knew everything then that I know now, things might have been a little different. Like, I didn't know about hiring PR and I didn't know about so many other things. So I think that each year I get older, I also become wiser and I understand how business works and also social media. Every year there's like a new platform or a new way to connect with fans. So when I first started, there was no Twitter or Instagram or OnlyFans. So now I have this amazing ability to connect one-on-one with my fans, get to know them personally, they get to know me
Yeah.
personally, and we become friends. So I think that's been really important, attributing to my success. And also that thanks to social media, fans can also vote for work that I've done, such as the Night Moves has fan voting and XBiz has fan voting. So I feel like those are really strong contributors in my growing and continued
Right.
success, along with many other things. Absolutely.
Was there an award, an event, or something where you felt that you'd established yourself in the business?
2020 AVN Hall of Fame. That was when I was like, okay, I did it. I've done it now. Because that's monumentous. That means you've been good at all things, not just, girl performer of the year or best actress or best solo or best oralist, or I mean the categories change year to
Right.
year. But being in the Hall of Fame, for me, it just felt like I had done all of those things right for a certain number of years. And I'm very proud to be in the Hall of Fame. That's when I was like, okay, good job, Charlotte Stokely. Self high five.
When you first got in the business, did you A, expect to have this type of longevity, and B, give yourself any type of goals or like ever thought of being in a Hall of Fame?
When I first started, the first year I started, I was nominated Best New Starlet and Best Girl Scene, things like that. And I kept getting nominated year after year after year, and I wasn't winning and I wasn't winning. And then I sat down with myself and I said, I'm getting nominated, I'm getting noticed. but what is it that I'm not doing? What can I do
Right.
better? How can I be better? And I studied myself. I watched my scenes. I watched what the people who were winning, what they were doing. And I kind of just like meshed it together and made it my own. Um, I did not think I would be doing porn for this long. I think when I started, I was like, I'm gonna find a rich guy and I'm gonna marry him, and then I don't have to worry about anything. That didn't happen. Not because I didn't try, but because then I was like, actually, no, I do care about love and I don't want to marry someone for their money. But no, I did not think I would be here where I am today at all. I didn't think that each year that went by I'd become more successful and happier and more stable and prettier. I don't know why, but I feel like I'm getting prettier every year. So that's cool. I did a lot of growing up. Let's say that when I first started, I didn't have any cares or concerns or priorities or goals. And now I have goals and I'm scratching them off the list. And then now I'm making bigger goals and then I scratch that. And so it's just this continued learning about who I am and what it is I want. And yeah, so thank you for your 2 cents.
Thank you. Uh, was there something that maybe kicked you in the butt or something that steered you like, hey, I gotta like do this shit like this way and focused on it, or did that just was it a progression?
Um, Personally, not career wise, but personally, I when I was 19, I started working. I was still doing porn, but I started working a couple days a week with holistic healing and health. And when I was 19, I was a little overweight. I wasn't healthy. I just partied all the time and I wanted to find something that would kind of ground me. So I started working doing holistic healing. And I just read books and I read books and books and books and I started applying it to my own life. And that helped me be healthier on the inside, mentally, physically, nutritionally. And it just gave me this whole new outlook in life. And that really kickstarted my mission of who am I, personal boundaries, goals, and health and happiness. Career wise, it was, I think after 2012, I was contracted, I was still getting nominated, and I still wasn't winning. And I was getting nominated by everybody. Everyone was nominating me. And there was one year, it was 2018, 2019 AVN Awards. And I was like, I know for sure I won it this year. I did Batwoman and Justice League, and I did all these Confessions of a Sinful Nun. I did all these big, huge movies, and I still didn't win. And I was like, all right, I really need to step it up. So every time I went to set, I would repeat over and over and over again in my head, this is the scene that's going to win an award. And I treated it as if the whole world live was watching me, judging me, and grading me, that it all came down to this moment. And I started treating every single scene that way so that I knew if I didn't win, it was my own fault because I did everything possible that I could have to be the best. And yeah, I think that was the year that I was really like, okay, try harder. Just keep going.
You try harder and you start winning. Is that a sense of validation to you, or does that push you, further down that track to concentrate more and just get better and better?
I wouldn't call it a validation thing. I do like your high mileage questions though, so good for you. You're in the right spot interviewing people. It wasn't for validation so much as it was, I had already put so many years into this career and I was just good enough. It was a personal goal for me to actually reach the goal of Girl Performer of the Year. Like I was just putting in like my blood, my sweat, my tears, my hours. My personal life went out the window. I had put school on hold and I was like, it can't be for nothing. It's got to be for something. I can do better. And so it really just motivated. It was a motivation and it was a goal. Yeah.
For stupid people like myself, what is holistic healing?
So holistic healing is, for in the most basic sense, it's a healing naturally, not synthetically. So not using pharmaceuticals. It's sticking more plant-based, naturally occurring herbs, and using like olive oil instead of Coumadin to thin your blood, just something a little bit healthier. But it's not just a plant encouraged, natural encouraged environment. It's also your environment. Are you hanging out with toxic people and places and watching horrific movies that put these thoughts into your head, and the environments you're around, you absorb the energy. So it's about balancing your energy, getting grounded, getting minerals in your body, dealing with personal demons or traumas that you're holding on to inside you, facing them, being there for yourself, doing the work to make yourself as clean as possible on the outside and on the inside. Without having the time to create an elevator pitch for holistic healing, that is what I would say is holistic healing.
That sounds amazing. You lost me 5 minutes ago, but having said all that, we sadly had some people pass away recently in the business. Yes. How much of everything you just mentioned would you attribute to that, to their passings?
Well, I don't know if that's a super fair question, because I don't personally know what they did, and I don't personally know their struggles. I don't personally know their lifestyles. I can say that taking time off work for you is important. You can call it a mental health break if that sounds too political or too much of a label. Call it a relaxation day. It's just one day a week or one day a month you set aside for yourself and relax, and having good boundaries. Don't do things that you don't want to do. Learn how to say no so you can say yes to yourself. And also just know that a million magical, seemingly impossible things had to happen in order for the universe to create you exactly the way you are, and for that you are perfect. So you don't need other people to tell you yes or no. Like, you already know you're a yes. And I do feel like diet is a strong contributor to health and longevity. And I also feel that, again, your environment. Also, financial education, knowing how to save money and how to make passive income so you don't get stuck doing jobs that are degrading or you don't want to do, or you go home afterwards and you're crying in the shower. It's learning how to stabilize yourself financially, mentally, emotionally, and nutritionally. Those are very important things that I think could help contribute to anyone's life. But again, your question, it's a little unfair to ask, because I'm not there with them. I don't exactly know. I know what is said online, but if you haven't learned in the past 2 years that you can't just read headlines, I can't help you.
We could go back 30 years with that.
Yes, absolutely. Yes.
Anyway, the Cupcake organization, tell me about that.
Oh, I love them. I wish that I knew about them sooner. I learned about Cupcake Girls 2019 AVN. My friend Romy was like, hey, you want to go to the Cupcake Girls suite with me? And I was like, I don't know what that is, and I don't really eat cupcakes. Look at me. And she's like, no, it's this, like, it's a suite where you can go and you can relax, and it's good positive vibes, and they can help assist you with things. And they really focused on like providing resources for sex workers. And I was like, resources, holistic resources for sex workers? That's right up my alley. And at the time, I had an underground suicide watch performer support, like little army that I had built. I didn't talk about it publicly, but people that knew me personally knew that if someone was struggling, bring it to my attention and I'll do everything that I can to help them, whether it's hooking them up with a therapist or offering to pay for their therapy or whatever it is that they needed. I would help them. So I started thinking, maybe I should start an organization or a program and make it public so I can reach more performers and help more performers. Because there were times where I needed, I mean, like I'm successful and I've worked hard, but there have been times where I couldn't pay my rent. It was just a slow month. I didn't have passive income. I didn't have that knowledge. I was struggling to eat. I had to borrow money to pay my rent. I had been in traumatic situations where I didn't know how to say no and have strong boundaries. And so that was mentally affecting me and emotionally. And so I wanted to create my own group. And then I met Cupcake Girls at the AVN suite. And I was like, you guys are doing exactly what I wanted to do, but you're doing it so much better than I ever imagined with such a bigger reach. They provide support in 26 plus states in the United States for sex workers and also civilians that have been that need resources involving sex trafficking as well. So I became a community activator and worked with them to help them and give them knowledge as a sex worker, my insight and my wisdom and my holistic knowledge and just the experience that I have. I was like, let me talk to your clients through Instagram, because I didn't want to work one-on-one because I'm not certified for, like, I'm not a certified therapist or counselor. I am a certified health coach and sex educator, and I have wisdom, but I wanted to, basically I worked with the, at the time, owner to give her ideas and thoughts and feelings and help her spread the word to my peers, because I had never heard of them and they'd been around for 10 years. So I partnered with them. And then after 2 years of being partnered with them and working closely with them, they said that they were having open auditions to apply to be a board member for the Cupcake Girls. And at the time, they did not have any board members that were presently or previously sex workers. And I was like, wow, that sounds kind of important. That's a really important missing link in the organization. And I loved working with them so much. And it was so rewarding. And just seeing all the good that they do, I applied. And after 4 to 5 just very thorough interview steps and the background check and everything, I got accepted. So I'm now on the board of directors with Cupcake Girls. And what I love about them is that they provide resources, not rescue. They're non-religious, they're a nonprofit. They do so many wonderful things, such as if you've been branded with a tattoo by a pimp and you want to get away from your pimp, and they'll help pay for the tattoo removal. If you need assistance paying your rent, they will help you pay your rent. If you need groceries, they will help provide groceries. If you need a sex worker friendly dentist or eye doctor or a tax person, they have people they work with that have been vetted, and they will help provide services for free. And if we have run out of money from the fiscal year, because we are nonprofit, we don't get money from the government. Every dollar we have is through fundraising and donations. So once that money is gone, we then will help find resources to people that can't, to other organizations that can also help. But with all the research that I've done, Cupcake Girls has the largest, healthiest holistic impact in this industry. So I'm very proud to be working with them to help come up with new ideas and how to just be better and do better. So I'm very excited. I actually have a board meeting after our interview together today.
Cool. 2 questions here. If people want to get a hold of you or Cupcake Girls, is there a website, email?
Yes, thecupcakegirls.org is their website. And that's where you can go to apply for help, and where you can also donate money to help provide dental or therapy for the sex workers that you know and love, and I know you watch them all the time. You can also, if you are going to the cupcakegirls.org because you need assistance and you happen to be in a dangerous situation, there is what's called a safe exit on the bottom right. If you click that, you won't be able to go back in the browser. It takes you out. So if someone like takes your phone from you and is like, what are you doing? It doesn't show up. It's not in the history. It's a safe exit. So we do everything we possibly can to provide you with what you need safely and holistically. And as far as reaching me, you can reach me on, I tell performers all the time, please DM me on Twitter or Instagram. I'm always happy to answer questions. I get a lot of girls that come in. I'm kind of nicknamed like the mom of porn because I will assist you. Whether it's, I've never done anal and my agent wants me to do anal sex, what should I do? And so I'll tell them, okay, well, these are how you, sorry, someone's calling me. I'll say, okay, so, I'll tell them the process of, you got to get, 3 different sizes of butt plugs. Start with the small one. The anus is not self-lubricating like the vagina is. You're going to need lube. Always use lube when doing anal sex. This is how you change your diet. And this is what's to be expected of you and how the day on the set is going to go. So you're not going into it with, unrealistic expectations. So whether it's something like that, or how do I make passive income? How do I sign up with an affiliate program? So any questions. And you don't have to be female, male and female. I don't, non-binary, whatever. If you have a question for me in my experience, please DM me. Twitter @Char_Stokely or Instagram @Charlotte Stokely. And if I don't know the answer, I will be honest and I'll say, I don't know the answer, but I will help you find the right answer.
Are you currently involved in a fundraiser with them?
Yeah, we're just, in a couple days, we're kicking off our big annual fiscal year fundraiser. So this is the fundraiser where we aim to make all the money we need for the next fiscal year. So this is the most important fundraiser that we do. It's called Change Takes Action. And I love that name because change does take action. And right now on my Twitter, I have a pinned post where you can go and donate underneath my little umbrella of fundraising for Change Takes Action, where I have my own personal goal of raising $20,000. I know it sounds like a lot, but that money goes so quickly. And if you're sitting at home watching this going, $20,000, where does my money go? What percentage of the money is actually used for good? And how much of it goes to what some of these other organizations do? Like, where's my money going? Every month, Cupcake Girls posts, we've had this many clients, this many phone calls, this much money's gone into rental assistance, this much money's gone into therapy. Everything is shown. It's very transparent. As a board member, my job is overseeing finances and making sure the money is going where it's supposed to. And I promise you, I will do my best to be real vigilant on that. But what I've seen so far is it all looks amazing. In the past 2 years I've been working with them, I feel very confident. I personally have donated a lot of money. So anyways, please help me reach my $20,000 goal so we can get some sex worker friendly dentists out here helping girls smile. And yeah, and so it's non-religious, it's resources, not rescue. We're not trying to get you out of porn. We love porn, we love sex workers. We just want to provide judgment-free assistance to those that need it.
We started up talking about Xrco and we're in the award season. So I called around prior to do some research on you for this interview, and I asked some reviewers and stuff. The one key thing that most of them said is that you've got mad crazy acting skills. Now, did you go to school? Did you what?
I love that so much. Thank you for telling me that. So the one award that I really want that I've never won is Best Actress. I'm a Leo. That just says a big chunk of it right there. I truly do believe that the world is a stage that we dance on. And that's my favorite part of my job. It's not the sex, it's the acting. I love that every day I go to work, I get to be a new person. So today I'm a teacher. And then what I do is I get in that mindset. I basically put on that person. And I'm like, how would that person walk? How would that person talk? Would they have certain slang or dialects? Like when I did fashion model, I had an English accent for the whole movie, which was so much fun. Oh my God. I feel like it's a multifaceted thing. I always did very well in school. And I love to read, and I love I have so many things to say. But basically, yeah, sometimes I'll even do research. I'll watch movies that are similar to the character so that I can see how they do. Like if they have like a certain thing that they do, like I'll incorporate it when I'm that character. Or if they're just kind of a little bit more slunchy, a little bit more macho. I just filmed a movie called A Night in the Valley where I actually lower my voice, like real gruffy and scruffy. It's not like a sexy voice. It's like it's like real low voice because I just thought it fit the character so well. It was a 1960s noir. I was a private eye detective. I smoke cigarettes. I drink a lot of whiskey. I'm stressed out all the time. So I was just always like, I did a lot of this, with my lip. I was like, well, whatever. I was just like, I'm a disgruntled drunk detective. And so like, that was just so fun for me because I got to be a whole new character. So yeah, the acting to me is really important. It's incredibly important. I wouldn't mind doing more acting in mainstream. I just don't audition, for those roles. But I think if I did audition, I'd probably land something cool.
Two questions about acting. When you're in the moment and you do a take, when you finish that take, do you consciously, subconsciously maybe said that was perfect, or maybe I could tweak it a little bit? And then when you're done,
that's case by case. Every time is different. Personally, I don't like to do dry runs where like you rehearse the scene and you do all the dialogue and then you record it. I feel like the first take is always the best because it's the most natural, it's the least forced, and that's the one you blow your load on, like all the mannerisms and the words and the jokes and the quips, and it's like, okay, I just blew my load in that first take. But when you got to do it again and again and again, I don't know, I feel like the first take's always the best. And yeah, there may be a time here and there where I'm like, I kind of wish I could have done that a little differently here, or I wish I would have laughed a little sooner. But the directors will be like, oh no, it's great, it's fine, we're gonna keep moving, we got a schedule. And I'm just like, oh, okay, well, if you're happy, I'm happy. There will sometimes be where I'll have like pages and pages and pages and pages of dialogue, and we'll do it in one take, and the director will say that was great and it was amazing, and I'm like, but I didn't really get to play around with it. I kind of want to try, I want to give you two versions. And sometimes I'll tell the director, can I do this a totally different way? And then you like get to choose which one you like more, and we'll proceed with that one. And they're like, Charlotte, no, that was amazing, just let's keep going. I'm like, okay.
when you finish the project comes out, do you then watch it and critique your performance, or do you just watch it from a different perspective, the actual finished movie?
Again, it's situational. Yeah, it's situational. Sometimes I will watch the entire movie just to see how it gets put together. But also same with when I'm given a script for a character, I don't just read my scenes, I read the entire movie. So I know why is my character important and how does my character fit? So sometimes I will watch the whole movie just to see, did that weave and ebb and tide the way it was supposed to? Did the other people in the movie with me understand their parts? Did it come together beautifully? And when I do see the other performers like just nailing the role and the timing, and you can just get a sense that they actually read the whole script, I put them on like a little list in my phone. So when I'm asked, who do you want to work with? I'll say, these are the people I want to work with, because they take their job seriously. They're not just thinking about their payday, but they're thinking about the project as a whole. And honestly, like if you want to keep shooting for these companies, you have to care about the project as a whole, because if the project fails, they're going to get smaller budgets. They're going to take less risks. You're going to have less fun. So for the longevity of our careers, we also need to look out for the projects that even if we're only there for 1 day or 1 hour or 3 days, we have to care about the project as a whole. So I really value when I see other people valuing the work that is offered and the opportunities presented.
Has there been a performance you've done where you went back and looked at it and it's like, damn, that was good?
I mean, I've had a lot of movies. I mean, I feel like I do that a lot, where I'm like, good job, Stokely. I haven't seen the whole movie yet because there's still one more episode to come out, but I think I friggin' nailed being a blinded nun in the new Under the Veil movie. I think that's the most challenging role. That's one of the top 2 most challenging roles I've ever done in my whole career, because I don't want to give too much away, but if you're not caught up with the episodes, then you should be. Where have you been? But in the beginning of the movie, Mother Superior burns out my eyes, and they actually show it. I have like a prosthetic eye, and the knife goes into my eye, and I get blinded in both eyes in the beginning of the movie. So the entire rest of the movie, I am wearing prosthetics glued over both my eyes with like the blood and the fake sweat. I can't see. I'm actually blinded. I am having the crew is amazing. The crew is helping me walk. They're saying, okay, in 3 steps, we're gonna turn left. So three, they're holding my wrists, and all right, we're gonna turn, step over the bar. You're stepping into the prison now. And on the floor, there's a mattress on the floor. You're gonna turn and sit here. And so I could not see while acting, which meant I had to know my dialogue, because I can't just stop and be like, like, okay, so what were my lines again? No, I had to know my lines because I can't fucking see. And so for the first time in my life, I did 2, was it 3? Definitely 2 sex scenes where I am blind completely. I think I did 3 sex scenes blind. But anyways, that was a very interesting experience, because one of them I'm dressed as a nun, and the other ones I'm in like a gown because now I'm a prisoner. But you have to undress your friend who's dressed as a nun. So it's a lot of layers. You got to get off the tights. You have to get into positions. I don't know where the cameras are. Like I have a general sense because I'm like, okay, Maddie, where are you? And he's like, I'll say Marco. He's like, Polo. Okay, Maddie's there. All right, James, where are you? Marco, Polo. Okay, so James is there. Maddie's here. I'm doing sex. So if I can't get turned around during the sex scene because I can't see, because I have to stay open for the camera. I still have to be able for you to see what's happening when I'm in doggy, or if I'm in Mish or pile driver, or like whatever. Right. So that for me was like the most challenging moment of my acting porn career was being blinded. And not to mention that, but it was shot in the middle of summer in the attic of a real church off Skid Row, where I have sweat pouring down me and it's burning my eyes. Like the prosthetics my eyes are on fire. Every day at the end of the day, my eyes were just like so red, but I was like, that was amazing. So I think, yeah, that is that is the moment where I'm like, damn, Stokely, you did a really good job. And also it just come out in time for award season. So I'm hoping, I know everyone's so busy because they're getting all their submissions and they got to watch all this stuff. And I don't even know if they have time to watch the things that have just recently come out, to be honest, because I don't know how they watch all that porn, but I do hope that it does at least get some recognition or a nomination. But if I was to win Best Actress, I want it to be for that role, because that was epic.
Is it easy, hard for you when you finish your day at work to let that character go? Or does any of that character stay with you, like when you go home?
The dialogue stays with me. I'll joke about it when I get home. I'm like, like there will be days where like they're long days because my scene partner doesn't know their script, and I'll come home and I'm like, I know their dialogue and my dialogue, and I'll be like pacing around the house. I'm like, da 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 da. I'm like, how hard is it? Like, so when I come home, I bring home the dialogue with me, and like when I'm driving home, like I'll go through the dialogue in my head and be like, would I have said it differently? Like, no, I like the way I said it. That was good. Okay, that was fun. So I will still think about the day and I will still think about the dialogue. But like I didn't actually, that'd be like, I was gonna say I didn't go home and then like continue being a blind person, but I actually did in the privacy of my home go, so what would it be like if the crew wasn't helping me? And I was like, I know where my hallway is. Okay, that's my bedroom. And I was like, yeah, no, that's a challenge. So I guess I kind of brought that one home with me a little bit.
You mentioned mainstream earlier. What can you tell me about your work on Westwood?
Westworld?
Westworld. Yeah, sorry.
Right.
I write sloppy.
Westworld, I didn't have any dialogue. I'm in the first season. It might have been episode 4. I'm the lead opening scene for the big brothel thing when Anthony Hopkins and Evan Rachel Wood, they're sitting on the couch talking. So I'm the opening scene where like I grab a guy's hand and the camera pans, and as I'm leading the guy, it leads into the scene. That was really fun because I was head to toe painted in gold, and I was working with a lot of my friends are on set too, so that was really fun. Yeah, so I've been in Westworld, True Detective season 2, Vida season 2. I'm Dying Up Here, the show Jim Carrey wrote and produced. Black Dynamite is one of my favorites. I actually have lines in that one. That one's from years ago, but it's still such a fun blaxploitation film. And I love Michael J. White. That's actually the first and probably the only time I've ever been starstruck, because he's fucking Spawn. Okay, and Michael J. White, like my nerd's coming out a little bit right here, but yeah, I was like, holy shit, he's hot. I was like, you're a god. But I love doing mainstream so much. I definitely want to do a lot more, and I want to do more mainstream with dialogue. There's some mainstream projects that I've done that haven't released yet that I can't talk about. Yeah.
When you do mainstream work, they're aware you're an adult actress and there's no issues with that. Everybody's cool. Do you get treated any differently? Is it anything?
I am specifically sought out most of the times. Most of the time they're specifically seeking out me. I don't know how or why they know about me, like, or maybe they're a fan or something, or maybe they did a word of mouth thing, but I've had multiple times, big movie, director wants you. I'm like, me? They're like, yes, it's a nudity scene. So a lot of mainstream actors and actresses, they don't like to appear naked because they're afraid it'll hurt their career. So they hire porn actresses or nude models to do the naked scenes in mainstream shows and movies. So they do know I'm a porn star, and they are specifically hiring me because I'm comfortable with full frontal nudity on a mainstream set. But the way that I'm treated differently is that, and it's sort of annoying, but I get it. Every time they cut on a mainstream set, you have to put your robe back on. Where in porn, cut, you're like, okay, and you can put your robe on if you want, and you don't have to put it on if you don't want to. So if we're cutting for like a real quick, simple tweak of the background or something, and I'm in entangled arms and legs with another performer, and I have an action where I have to like fake vomit or something, it's like I'm ready to go, and then I gotta fucking stop, put on my robe, and then remember the exact position I was in with this entangled body, put the pea soup or whatever back in my mouth and get ready for it again. And I'm like, well, the robe thing is annoying. So annoying. But no, they're always very nice to me. They're never disrespectful. They're always very happy that I'm there. And we don't conversate or anything. When I'm on a mainstream set, I just do what I'm told, and otherwise I stay quiet and I play games on my phone.
You mentioned modeling. You did some stuff for American Apparel. How did that come up? What was that and all that?
Yeah, I've done a lot of fashion modeling. I modeled for Jean-Paul Gaultier. Did a lot of modeling for Junker Fashion. I've been in Tinsel Tokyo magazine. I've been in Bazaar, UK Bazaar. But with American Apparel, I modeled for them for 7 years, continuously, at least 4 days a month for 7 years. And that was amazing. There was a very long stretch of time where I was their main white blonde girl in their advertisements, which was super cool and fun to like. I wasn't contracted with them, but it was really cool that I had worked with them so much that I became a prominent face with their company. And that led to so many fun opportunities that were on my bucket list and my goals. I always wanted to be on a billboard. Well, with American Apparel, I was on billboards around the world, not just like in my local neighborhood or like one in New York and one in LA. I was on billboards all around the world. People, fans would take pictures and email them, or social media send them to me. And so that was like so fun. It was like a Where's Waldo, but like Where's Charlotte with American Apparel. I was on the sides of like 18-wheeler diesel trailers. It's just my face. I was on city buses. I was on big walls of buildings, the little tags on the clothes. Like that was so much fun. I loved every minute working with American Apparel. I loved the way that their infrastructure was set up. I would always most of the time I shoot at the warehouse, or I'd be like down the street at the photographer Keyoung's studio. And I got to keep all the clothes I modeled. Do you know how much American Apparel clothing I still have to this day? So I have a lot of American Apparel clothes. I'm actually going to start auctioning them off and see where that goes, because then I could use that money for my other goals.
And did they once again request Charlotte, or were you just a model hired at that point?
Oh, that's a good question. I was actually hired because the owner, Dove, was a fan of Charlotte Stokely, and he was telling a friend about me, and the friend he was talking to was like, I know her, would you like her phone number? And then so my friend contacted me and was like, do you mind if I share your contact with the owner of American Apparel? You would go in and do a test photo shoot, and then if you like you, he'll hire you. And it was supposed to just be like a 1 or 2 maybe times thing. So I was like, fuck yeah. I was like in the middle of directing, like holding this big ass camera for this website. I don't even remember what the website's called anymore because it was so long ago. And I was just like, my phone's, what's going on? And I was like, oh, fuck yeah, I'll do it. And so I went down, and there was like this big studio, and he was there, and the photographer was there, and they were like, so we're gonna do this dance line today, and we did the photos, and he was very nice, and he left. And then the photographer really liked me, liked my work ethic, liked working with me, so she just kept calling me. And I met him that first time. I met him one other time, maybe that same year, but otherwise it was just me and Keyoung. We were just like, what are we gonna do today? And we got to like come up with ideas and fun things and paint backgrounds, and drive around LA taking pictures on rooftops, and we became really close friends. So that was super fun. But yeah, I was hired. American Apparel, they sought me out. I did not apply for that.
And you touched on it briefly, but do you remember the very first time you saw yourself on a billboard? What was that like for you?
That's the face I made. I was like, oh, that's so cool. The first advertisement I saw of myself was a banner on MySpace, which I don't even know if MySpace exists anymore, but I was on a side banner on MySpace, and I was like, whoa, that's so cool. That's so mainstream. Like, whoa. And then, yeah, the billboard. What was my first billboard that I saw in person? I was on a billboard on like Highland and Vine or something. It was like right when you come off the freeway of the Highland exit, and it was like right there, like by the big church where they have the big red ribbon. There's a billboard right there, and I was right there. And I started getting all these, like, people were like sending me pictures of it, and I was like, holy shit, that's me. So then I had to drive down and go see it, obviously. And then I was like, ooh, that's so cool, that's me. And that was the first of 100, if not more. Because the thing is, whenever they'd put up a billboard, I didn't get an email. And I didn't go through an agency when I booked this work. So I didn't get residuals. I got paid by the hour, by the day. And when the billboards came out, like, they didn't tell me, the fans told me. It was always the fans. They were like, look at this, look at this. But then one day I was living in this little apartment in Culver City. Well, it wasn't little, it was 2-bedroom, had a den, whatever, but it was cleaned. And right across the street from my apartment came a billboard of 3 Charlotte Stokeleys in an American flag bikini. And that one was a little hard to hide from the neighbors, because I always just was like, hey, I'm a nutritionist, how are you? Like, I always kept it like a secret with the neighbors, and like I kind of knew they knew, but they were respectful and they didn't say anything. And most of the people that lived in that building were like older retired women, so it was like a safe place. But then I was just like, oh my god, I'm in a bikini, there's 3 of me in a bikini across the street from my apartment building. And it was up for a minute. It wasn't like a weekend billboard. It was there for at least a solid month. I was like, oh gosh. I was like, this is really cool, but could you guys move it a little geologically that way?
You recently did a live sex ed class. Can you tell me about that?
Yes, absolutely. Thank you for asking. I taught a class on, first we did a study of what men's greatest struggles were, and then we built a class specifically around their struggles and what they wanted to know. And the title was How to Blow Her Mind and Have Her Think of You as the Best Lover Ever. And it was so much fun. It was a 2-hour class, and then a couple days later we did a 1-hour open questioning. It was basically a class taught with integrity, but also compassion and empathy of how to know when to make the first move. I had them bring peaches, and I demonstrated how to perform oral sex, how to do it soft, how to do it hard. I poked a hole in it and did a fingering demonstration in the peach. It was super fun. And then I was like, oh, this is delicious. And then I taught them how to communicate with her, how to speak with her, how to make her feel comfortable. I suggested having bottles of water next to the bed, because I can tell you right now, if I'm having sex and I have a dry mouth, like, it just kills the vibe for me. Like, I need water. And so I was saying, like, have 2 unopened bottles of water next to the bed. See how far that gets you, because who wants to suck dick when their mouth's dry, or like, it's just, and you can rinse out your mouth if you got a weird taste or whatever. I had told them about the different types of condoms, how latex condoms have a weird taste and a weird smell, but where like the Skin brand doesn't have a weird taste or weird smell. So if you're going down on her and you just you're penetrating her and you decide you want to go back to oral, or your soldier's a little tired, so you're like, oh, like I want to keep pleasing her, I'll go back to oral. It gets rid of that whole weird smell taste thing. And so it was basically a class on how to smoothly, and we talked about intimacy a lot, and what is intimacy and how you can be intimate with a perfect stranger, with someone you've known for years, and what does that look like. And it was a very interactive class where after each section, as it was very well structured, very detail oriented. After each section, I would ask, what's your biggest takeaway? What did you learn today? So that feedback was amazing, and everyone seemed to be really happy with the class. So yeah.
When you're talking to men, women in that type of environment, are they expecting you to talk about porn sex or real sex?
Well, I actually in the class had a brief introduction of the difference between porn sex and real sex. And I used one of my classic analogies, is saying like, okay, first of all, porn sex is not sex education. Sure, it can show you interesting positions, but it's not sex education. And when the pizza guy shows up and she can't pay for the pizza, so he fucks her in the ass in that 3-minute time frame, that's not real life. That girl has, before the scene started, she's agreed, for one, she's consented to working with that male. She is aware she's going to do anal, so she has spent 2 days prepping and planning. He did not just shove it in her. She's been pre-lubricated. And I just talked about how there was consent and boundaries across the board, and how all porn, I don't like definitive statements, but how porn generally is all about boundaries and all about consent and choosing who you work with and saying, no, I don't want to work with that person, and I don't want to do that sex act today. That doesn't turn me on. This does turn me on. And how we have this conversation about it, and how we can be in the middle of sex and go, I gotta pee. And that's totally okay. And so I really wanted to teach them the difference between porn sex and real sex.
Tell me about working with Ricky Greenwood.
So much fun. He's Canadian. I'm just kidding. No, he's fun. He genuinely cares about the performers, and that was one of the reasons why we really met on that same level. When he first started directing in LA, he would like secretly put up flyers for like pineapple and stuff like on the wall in the bathroom, so he wouldn't like, he would suggest things like, do you think I should sell the wardrobe from Girls of Wrestling so we can donate the money to an organization that provides free therapy for the girls, or something. Like, he's always trying to think of ways to help the girls and the performers. And so I really liked that about him. And his crew is amazing. Like, it's not just Ricky. Ricky's a package deal. You get the crew. I love his crew so much. They're a working, interlocking system. Very fun. And he gives me a lot of responsibility, and I really appreciate that with him, because I love responsibility. I love dialogue. If it doesn't challenge you, it doesn't change you. And I feel like he's always giving me opportunities to challenge myself and to grow. So I really appreciate him for that.
One last question with this real quick. You meet a young Charlotte Stokely. She wants to get in this business. What do you tell her?
Save your money.
Fair enough.
Save your money. Do not spend your money on stupid shit.
Are you on OnlyFans?
I love OnlyFans. It has provided me amazing freedom and amazing abilities to connect one-on-one with my fans. Yes. I have an OnlyFans. It's onlyfans.com/Char_Stokely. Stokely, you can see my name on the screen. That's how you spell it, Stokey. Right now I have a free trial link I just sent out on my Twitter. It's going to be there for a minute, so sign up for free. And after you pass the pinned tweet to donate to Cupcake Girls. And yeah, come talk with me on OnlyFans. I love OnlyFans. I love it so much. Big fan. You can also go to charlottestokely.com. charlottestokely.com is a hub of all the links. That's where you can find my OnlyFans, my femdom clips, my wish list, and again, another link to donate to Cupcake Girls.